When your grandparents own a tree farm, Christmas becomes much more than a holiday. It becomes a way of life. Running the tree farm for the locals of Stockbridge, Georgia has been a tradition within my family for over 30 years. And though we've had our ups and downs throughout the years, the tradition remains.
Welcome back to Sugarland Christmas Tree Farm. It's one of my favorite things to do every year during the holidays. And I'm standing here with the founder of Sugarland, and he's better known as Sugar Pops, but Jim. Jim, thanks so much for having us back this year.
No problem. Glad to have you back.
Well, my son and I love coming here every year because not only do we get our Christmas tree, but there's no way you could come here to Sugarland and not leave in the Christmas spirit. Santa Claus is here, hot chocolate is here. You get to pick out your own tree from as many as you could possibly want to go through, and there's just so much to see and do. It's a good place to build memories.
In 1983, my grandparents, Jim and Charlotte Smith, decided to build a Christmas tree farm right in front of their house. A house that they had just built 1 year prior on a 21-acre plot of land in Stockbridge, Georgia. My grandfather got the idea to build a tree farm from an article in the AJC, and at first uninterested, my grandmother got bought into the idea as well. They started with flattening the plain of hills spread in front of their house, and mowing and tilling the land. Then they started planting over 1,000 Virginia pine trees. It took 3 years for the trees to grow to a sellable height. During that time, newly planted trees had been toppled over from storms, and entire fields had been drowned out by rain. But after 5 years of hard work, their farm was up and running in 1988. "14 years later, in 1997, I was born. And naturally, I spent my first Christmases at the farm. By the time I became old enough to walk, I saw the tree farm as my own personal playground. And by this time, the A-framed wooden cabin placed in front of the tree farm, known as the Sugar Shack, had been built. I spent most of my time in and around the Sugar Shack when I was a kid. Every time you pulled into my grandparents' driveway, the first thing you ever saw was this bright red and green cabin. It was hard to miss. Outside of the winter season, the shack sort of just sits there, unused and dormant. But during winter, when the Christmas lights are on display, the Sugar Shack transforms into something special. From watching my older siblings and cousins, I could tell that working on the farm was hard work. And at the time, I remember dreading the day I had to grow up and actually start helping out. And soon that day came. The moment I turned 12 years old, I was ready to start working at the farm. With the help of my grandparents, I was taught the basics of working at a tree farm. These tasks didn't come easy at first. But after a couple of years of working, they became second nature to me. By the time I was a teenager in high school, I had learned quickly that maintaining a farm was a year-round process. Somebody had to cut the fields, trim the trees, and kill the bugs, all year round. And I just so happened to be the man for the job, as my grandparents weren't getting any younger. That hasn't stopped them, though. They still manage every aspect of the farm, and with the help of my cousins and siblings, every season goes by without a cinch.
Here, can I get a picture of me in front of my Sugar Shack?
All right.
Merry Christmas!
Hold on.
beautiful silver one is missing.
Beautiful silver.
Yeah, silver with a yellow handle.
Recently, we've been remodeling the inside of the sugar shack, tearing out old tables and decorations that had been standing in the shack for almost 30 years. Seeing the interior of the old shack rejuvenated is a refreshing sight. Though, given the current circumstances, this season proves to be a tremendous challenge. The environment that a Christmas tree farm creates for its customers is friendly and welcoming, and the threat of COVID spreading prevents this environment from happening. This season will be different, as we experience a new normal. As for the future of the tree farm itself, the decision of who will inherit it and keep it running in place of my grandparents is a question that's still left unanswered for now. However, the importance of the tree farm and what it stands for will be passed down from generation to generation, regardless of its owners.